Welcome to my happy place. So my sweet peas are starting to climb and they are smelling divine. It's our very first lily of the year to flower. Rocking up to the plot in my sandals. So in this frame behind me, I'm going to make use of all the space because it's only a small bed. So in the bed I'm going to transplant my beetroot, and to grow along the frame I'm going to plant my cucumbers. So I've got some more cucumbers here for outdoor sowing. With all this lovely weather, I'm sure these guys are going to do really well out here and they'll go on the frame. So in this bed here, I've managed to put my beetroot in there in the centre, and then along the sides to grow over the frame, I've put in my cucumbers. That's the job done. This section here is going to be our outdoor tomato bed. So we're going to get our tomatoes in here. Me and Rayanne have been inspired by Beatrix Potter, and we've decided to do a Mr. McGregor style tomato bed in this section. So in front of this tomato bed, which I'm going to paint very soon, we're going to paint it white. Thought it'd be nice to plant some cosmos, which has been going really crazy in my greenhouse. So I'm going to get this planted just along the outside. Let me show you what's going on in my greenhouse. This is one of our beefsteaks, and just look at the size of the flower on it. Huge. In my tomato bed, I direct sowed basil along the bottom of the tomatoes, and just look at that. Amazing. The leaves are so shiny. Lovely, healthy basil growing nicely. Lots of flowers on the chili peppers. So I've just tied this one up nicely as well. This one was already climbing, so it's doing a little bit better than the other one that had collapsed a little bit under the weight of the cucumbers, but I'm sure that would bounce back as well. I just need to give them a quick water. Quick look in the greenhouse, and here's the tomatoes doing really well. We've got basil seeds that I planted, they've all come up, it's germinated, and the basil's looking good as well. I've been told basil is a really good companion crop with tomatoes. Apparently they're meant to make the tomatoes taste better, but anyway, I'm not sure about that. Never tried it before, but we'll try it this year. And they're doing really well. Tomatoes are getting a bit wild. I'm just waiting for all the sort of trusses and the flowers to appear, and then I'll start taking off more leaves from the bottom to aerate the plants. In the middle I've just got some storage. I've got cosmos to plant out. There's some chili peppers that are going crazy. They're spares, but they're going to go out in a bed that I'm going to cover on the plot. Some more tomatoes. These are also going to go straight out. They're in larger pots, so I'm not in any hurry, but they're all starting to flower now, and they're going to go out onto the plot. I'm going to show you I'm making a tomato bed. We've got crazy melon that's going absolutely crazy, but climbing really well on this little mini arch. And on the other side of the mini arch, we've actually got the cucumbers climbing. You'll see that I've had a nice harvest off them already. And so in here, my sweet melon called Malaga is doing really well over here, and it is right from the bottom all the way. It's clambering up this mini arch that I popped in here. So this idea seems to at the moment be working a treat. So it saves space and it allows the melon to keep climbing. It's got quite a bit of room there, so it can climb. On the other side though, it's going to meet our cucumber that's also clambering up on the other side. So we've got, that's how I've tried to make some space. I've got some things stored over there that I need to get rid of. But yeah, so this is a tiny greenhouse update, and yeah, everything is looking good in here. I've even got a watermelon over here. It's a mini watermelon. I've put some spare plants outside on my allotment plot, so because of this heat I thought I'm going to test these out and just grow them outdoors. But yeah, we've got some here too. I'm hoping that they'll just grow along the floor here, as you can see, and across the bed, and let's see if we get a couple of melons off it. So what makes my plot my happy place? I'm happy for a number of reasons, and they're not all good. Strawberries have been amazing so far. I've had tons of them. In my greenhouse, my cucumbers have been fantastic, and the raspberries now are following and doing the same thing. I mean, these small little tiny pleasures that don't quite make it home are what make my plot my very happy place. Amazing. And the not so good news was my garlic and onions. However, I'm not too disappointed, because as I've mentioned in previous vlogs, my garlic was shop bought garlic. I was trialing it out, and I've seen so many people do it and have the same results, so I wasn't expecting a miracle anyway. One thing that did surprise me is that they have split, and they're tiny, but they're still garlic and they're still edible. So they're here. I mean, they smell amazing. I know everyone has that experience when you grow your own garlic. They're not entirely completely split, but they're okay. They're like really small purple garlics. So they're not huge, but the good news with them is none of them had any rot or anything like that. I experienced a bit of that on my other plot last year, so I had none of that. So I was really, really impressed with that. So it shows me that this plot is actually okay for garlic. But next time I'll get a nice variety. Onions as well, they're all just bolted. They were from set, so I wasn't again surprised at that. That's my largest white onion, which isn't too bad. And then all my red ones are looking like this. Don't laugh. That's what they look like. I have got onions from seed that are in the plot still, and they're still putting on size and growing, so maybe I'll get a better result there. But yeah, so onions and garlic not so good, but everything else seems to be fine. So I'm leaving the garlics and the onions over here to dry. There's more as well that are still in the ground that I haven't picked, but they're probably going to be a lot smaller than these, so they'll come out in no time, and then I'll be getting other things planted out on the plot.